Hey all you Shite heads, today I'm doing a budget Blue Eyes deck profile. This is the current Blue Eyes deck I run. As in the title, it is a budget deck. There are better things you could put in here, but at a much higher cost. I do have one card in here, which is not a budget card, but I pulled it from a pack, and I'll talk about that later and what you can switch it out for. Now, of course, you're gonna have to run 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. You can get cheap Blue Eyes White Dragon cards. It's a card that was been printed so many times. You can get a very cheap version or a very expensive version. Like this one I pulled from a pack. This one's from a pack, and this one I actually found at a card store and paid a little chunk of money. It's a starter deck Kaiba Blue Eyes in mint condition. This one's, I think, from a Mega 10 maybe, and this one is from the movie pack. So you're gonna need triple Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course. It's a Blue Eyes deck, and then you're going to need, you absolutely need to run this too. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, 3 copies. It is a bit pricey, but if you section off how you spend your money, they won't be that big a deal, because everybody knows that if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, building a Yu-Gi-Oh deck's not always the cheapest thing, but you can make a budget version that's almost as good for your locals or for your friends, no problem. So triple Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Then I run 1 Dragon Spirit of White, because this card is always treated as a Blue Eyes monster. And when this card is treated as a normal monster while the hand in the graveyard, so there's that too. And when it is normal or special summoned, you can target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. And then it has a third good effect that is during either player's turn, if you control a monster, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. I usually use this card quite often because when it alternate, you need to reveal a Blue Eyes from your hand to special summon that from your hand. And if I'm in a bad space and I already have this out, I can, because it's only at 25, 2000, I can pull it back, put another Blue Eyes on the field. Then I run 1 Deep Eyes White Dragon. When I first started playing Blue Eyes, I did not run this card. I thought it was awful, thought it was shitty. But as time went on, this card has pulled me out of a hole several times. It is very good. If a face-up Blue Eyes monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, and you have a Dragon Tap monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, inflict 600 points of damage to your opponent for each Dragon Type monster with different names in your graveyard. If this card is a normal or special summoned, you can target 1 Dragon Attack monster in your graveyard. This card's attack becomes equal to that monster's. If this card on the field is destroyed by opponent's card effect, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card comes in clutch. You hold on to it for a minute, and I mean, guarantee they're going to eventually destroy a Blue Eyes monster. You pop it out, you get 3000, and then if they destroy it by a card effect, or sometimes you can force them to destroy it by a card effect, it'll wipe their field. Now I run 2 White Stone of Ancients. It's a tuner, and it's a good effect. It's really nice to sit it face down, and then let your opponent destroy it, and then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was center of this turn, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. And then it has a second effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use 1 effect per turn, but this card's good. It'll help you out a ton. And then I do run 4-star monsters because this is a budget build and you need to kind of tune your extra deck towards the budget and your monsters. I run 3 Alexandrite Dragon as a light 4-star 2000. If you're gonna run dragons and you need 4 stars, I'd say this one. It's strong. It's a normal monster which you can play off of too, and it'll get you where you need to go. So 3 Alexandrite Dragons, and then I run 2 Luster Dragons, which is a level 4 Win 1916. Then I run one Koumori Dragon at 15, 12, and then one Honest, which is also a 4-star. You're going to want to run Honest in this deck. Almost everything's light, but a couple of those 4 stars. Three cards of all the cards in your deck are going to be light, and you're going to want to run an Honest. And if I'm going a bit too fast or a bit too slow for you, all you need to do is just go down to the description. I'll have every card listed in the description for you. And then we'll move on to traps. Now I don't run the best traps because again, remind you again, this is a budget and these traps are mostly cheap and easy to use. Negate Attack at 1, Wiretap at 1, Compulsory Escape Device 1, Raigeki Break 1. Most people say Raigeki Break is just a garbage card, but it's not, because it's discard 1 card. In a Blue Eyes deck, discarding a card is not a big deal. It almost never hurts to discard a card knowing that it will be easy to get back at a future date. Deep Dark Trap Hole. When a level 5 or higher effect monster is special summoned, banish that level 5 or higher effect monster. I use that because I need to banish. If my friend or an opponent I have gets out something that can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be destroyed by battle, it's most likely level 5 or higher, and I can banish it and just get rid of it, not have to deal with it. One Sakuretsu Armor. And then we'll move on to spells. My Blue Eyes deck is a pretty heavy spell deck. I run 3 Melody of the Awakening Dragon. It is a must run at 3. You need it at 3. Discard 1 card, add up to 2 dragon type monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from the deck to your hand. That means Blue Eyes or alternate that will get to your hand. Then I run 1 Return of the Dragon Lords. I run 2 Dragon Shields. Dragon Shield's very good. Equipped to a dragon type monster, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. I run a Dragon's Mirror. Remove from play from your side of the field or the graveyard fusion materials listed on a fusion type dragon monster. Once you see my extra deck, you'll see why I run that. And I also run a Polymerization for my fusions. I run 2 Silver's Cry. I run a Dragon Shrine to pitch a stone and a Blue Eyes. I run a Majesty to pitch a Blue Eyes and put my opponent's monster face down. And this was the card I was talking about, Twin Twister. It is not a budget card, it is an expensive card, and it's a discard 1 card, target 2 spell or trap card on the field and destroy them. If you're running a budget version, don't play this. Just switch it out for an MST, a Magical Space Typhoon instead. Save you a lot of money that way. I run a Burst Stream of Destruction, which you could easily switch out for a Lightning Vortex, because in the same situation, a Lightning Vortex will let you wipe your opponent's field and then attack with all your Blue Eyes monsters, where a Burst Stream of Destruction is no discard, and if you have a Blue Eyes monster, you can wipe your opponent's field, but Blue Eyes monsters can't attack. I've won over a Lightning Vortex many times with a full field of Blue Eyes. 1 Ancient Rules, special summon 1 level 5 or high normal monster from your hand, self-explanatory. And 1 Swords of Revealing Light. Now, the reason I run swords is because sometimes I need an extra turn or 2. Most people I duel either let the sword sit out for 3 turns or they immediately hit it. But that's going to give me, at least 1 turn where they're not fucking with me and 1 turn where I'm going to flip all their face down monsters face up. So that does it on spells. Let's move on to my extra deck. I run 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and I run 1 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. I almost never use them. Almost never use them anymore. I just don't need to use them. You can if you want. Some people do. They work in certain situations. I run 1 Galaxy Stealth Dragon. It is 2 level 4 dragon types. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Ixi's material from this card, special summon 1 dragon type monster from your hand. Your opponent cannot target other Galaxy cards you control with card effects, and those cards, that part is unimportant. I run 1 Queen Dragon Djinn. It is 2 level 4 monsters. Dragon type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Oh, sorry, by battle, except for this one. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Ix's material from this card and target 1 level 5 or higher dragon type monster in your graveyard, special summon it. That target cannot attack this turn, and its effects are negated. Still very good. What's really good is get this out and put a dragon shield on it, and have more dragons out. 1 Dark Rebellion Ixi's Dragon. It's a very overused card, but it's overused for a good reason. You can detach 2 materials, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its current attack, and if it does, this card gains that attack. 1 Thunderin. I have almost seen nobody run this card, and I don't know why. It is very good and very powerful. 2 level 8 normal monsters, so 2 blue eyes. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Ix's material from this card, destroy all other monsters on the field. What I like to run with that card right next to it is First of the Dragons, and I run 2 of First. Because first, it's got to be fusion summoned by 2 normal monsters, which you can use the 2 Alexandrite Dragons instead of 2 blue eyes. You can only control 1 of it, but this card cannot be destroyed by battle, except for by battle with a normal monster, and is unaffected by other monsters' effects. So if you have a First of the Dragons next to a Thunderend, you remove that material, it destroys all other monsters, but it's not going to get First of the Dragons. So there you are sitting with a 27 and a 3000 monster on the field ready to attack immediately. I run 1 5-headed dragon because there are plenty of monsters to get it with, and what I usually do if I need a 5000 beater, 5000 defense, is I use my Dragon's Mirror and just banish all of my shitty 4-stars and get rid of them and get a 5-headed, or I'll use that on First of the Dragons. But I usually have a Polymerization and 2 normal monsters whenever I decide I need First of the Dragons. I run 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, sorry. And then this, now you haven't bought a lot of cards that go in the Blue Eyes deck that are expensive so far. You haven't gotten any crazy expensive traps. So what you can do is you can either get a bunch of really good traps, you know, get a some more Blue Eyes cards that are expensive, or you can get 1 or 2 Twin Burst. Now it's not a cheap card, but it's a very good card. It is a contact fusion. It is not destroyed by battle, and anything it battles that is not destroyed is banished instead. And it can attack twice per turn. That card will get you out of a lot of sticky situations. It is a very good card in the Blue Eyes. Very easy to get, very easy to use. And it takes Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now alternate is considered, its name is considered Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field or in the graveyard. So you can get it with that, you can get it with Blue Eyes. There's just a lot of ways to get Twin Burst. Now that is my budget version of Blue Eyes deck. I don't suggest you copy my deck specifically. Make your own version and do what you want to do. This is just a guideline on what you can do with the deck. This is not my main deck anymore. A while back when this was real popular, this was my main deck. But I'm now maining Fluffles. Fluffles seem to work a lot better than this, a lot faster, a lot stronger. But a Blue Eyes deck is still very viable, and with Links coming around in the future, Blue Eyes I think is going to have a comeback. Now that could either, and I believe they're going to reprint a lot of the Blue Eyes cards here pretty soon. So that should knock the price down a bit. But if you want to start on your Blue Eyes deck today, I'd say go for it. It's a fun deck to play. It's got a little bit of strategy in there. It's definitely not a helmet deck. And you'll have a lot of fun with it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. I do deck profiles, TCG openings, gameplays, hopefully a skit eventually. But you know, a little bit of everything. Well guys, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next video.